All right, we're in our junior year now, and this is a time when you should probably start to be taking on more of a leadership role. If you're working in a lab, maybe you've been there for a year or two, as well as your clubs. I had said earlier that it's not necessarily important exactly which clubs you join or anything like that, but it's something you should be passionate about, and at some point it's good to show that you demonstrate that you've taken on leadership positions. That's something that med schools definitely value pretty highly. So at this point, you should be really working on that research paper if that's something that you want to pursue, and as well as just getting into leadership positions and just demonstrating an initiative there. And also at this point, this is where you kind of have to talk to your advisor and be honest with yourself. Do you want to take the MCAT this summer? Are you going to take a gap year and end up taking it the following summer or something like that, or maybe during the second semester senior year? So there's no right or wrong answer. I took a gap year. I chose to take a gap year. Initially, I didn't plan on doing it, but I thought that I could bolster my resume a lot in my senior year because I kind of had a lot of research that I was working on that wasn't going to really be in effect. I wouldn't have presented on it or have written up a manuscript by the time that my applications would have already had to been in. So I thought I was not really giving myself the greatest potential to get into a med school at that point. So at first, somewhat reluctantly, I decided I was going to take a gap year, and so I took the MCAT right after my junior year, and then kind of sat on those scores for a little while before I actually applied. And I absolutely did not regret that. I'm going to do a video on the gap year. I think it's an excellent choice. Not a lot of kids come in straight from college, I would say. So it's pretty great, and you can really kind of detach from the school setting and come in really invigorated into med school if you choose to do so. But either way, start laying out your plan for your MCAT. If you're going to take it that summer, get a test program, whatever you choose to do. I'm going to do a whole series on the MCAT, but this is just the time to really start thinking about that. And also in your junior year, you want to really buckle down in your classes. The freshman and sophomore grades are a little easier, I think, for med schools to overlook. If you made a mistake, they can overlook that. You'll get a get out of jail free card there. But in your junior and senior year, that's a little closer to the product that they're receiving. If you're coming out and second semester senior year, your grades slip, well, that doesn't look very good. And even in your junior year, I mean, it's at that time you should have had your study methods pretty much solidified, and that kind of shows a little bit of disinterest to them. For me, at least, my junior year was not as difficult as my sophomore year. I think my sophomore year was the toughest year for me in college, both just in terms of the class difficulty and the combination of the class difficulty with not really having experienced anything like that. You're just used to it by your junior year, and it seemed pretty easygoing from there on out, even though the classes were still pretty challenging. And on top of that, you want to be really trying to hammer out the rest of those rec letters if possible. If you're going to do the gap year, you can wait till your senior year to get the rest of those rec letters. But this is a really good year to be, going in, talking to your professors, getting to know them, going into office hours, so that you can be getting those rec letters. And so if you're doing well in your classes, teachers are a lot more likely to write you a rec letter. So this year, you want to be killing it in your classes, getting ready, kind of looking at what you're going to be doing for prepping for the MCAT, and as well as taking on those leadership roles. So next time we'll talk about senior year. There's a lot of overlap depending on if when you're going to apply to school and if you're going to take that gap year or not. But there's some other things to do in senior year regardless. So we'll get to that next time. All right, take care.